Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Beth Talks. And today I have a really special guest. As always, I'm grateful for you to be here. Please don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. See you soon. Here we go. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Beth Talks. And today I have a really special guest to share with you. But before I introduce her, just a couple of thoughts. And I know some of you listening to this may agree, may or may not agree, but worldwide, I think a lot of us are maybe a little nervous about some upcoming changes that are going to affect everyone when it comes to the economy, on how we make money, how we receive our goods and services. It's all very rapidly changing, in my opinion. And maybe even the currency that we trade could be different from community to community, even in our own country. I don't know what everything's going to look like a year from now, 2 years from now, but I know it's happening fast. And I know right now has never been a better time to take action on building our own economies within our networks. So if you're a small business owner, if you're a woman wanting to go from solopreneur to a C-suite executive CEO, well, I have a special treat for you today. A special speaker that has mastered the skills and tools needed to light a fire in you to create an unstoppable business. Yvonne E.L. Silver, founder of Women and Wisdom Media, a confidence catalyst who is changing women's lives everywhere. She is a speaker, an author, a certified executive coach, and a very good friend of mine, supporting women entrepreneurs seeking to flourish everywhere, to have more confident conversations, to lead your team, expand your business, and grow with more sales by developing unshakable confidence, authentic, bold language, easy sales conversations, conscious, confident leadership, life, work balance, mastery, and the results working with Yvonne is business growth, creating a flourishing business, leading an empowered team. Today, Yvonne will share her views on leadership, challenges women face in entrepreneurship, and her coaching strategies. So thank you so much, Yvonne, for taking your time and being here with me today to talk a little bit about what you do. And Yvonne and I kind of go back a few years. Now, we uh, first ran into each other on a platform called Acadium. And I was just finishing up my IT degree and kind of delving into digital marketing, but I needed some experience. And Acadium is a platform that does mentorship programs specifically for digital marketing. It's a phenomenal program. And I could share the link below, but maybe Yvonne can share a little bit of her experience whenever I stop talking and turn things over to her. But we also share something else in common. We not only worked together for quite a while, she mentored me and coached me through my Acadium internship, rather. But she has also been diagnosed with cancer as well, and she's going to share her very personal story with us today. And I thank you so much for that. Yvonne, I know it's not easy to share something so personal, but I love to help other people have a voice in it, because you never know who it's going to help. So I'm going to turn things over to you and see where this goes.
Well, thank you, first of all, Beth, for putting this series together, because I think that there's a local group here that I got invited to participate in some of their programming, and their mandate is no one should go through cancer alone. And they've got so many hands-on programs. They've got some online programs, and it's everything from, artwork to qigong to different things that will ultimately help with the overall health of people who are going through cancer, or supports for their family members who've never been through that too. So it is an interesting world that we live in, and certainly wasn't something that I had expected to be diving into. So yes, after we met on Acadian, and you were my favorite apprentice out of the ones that I've had. And that's partly the reason why we kept in touch afterwards, and why we've continued to do other things together, because you were innovative, you were helpful, you were dedicated, you were reliable. From an employee standpoint, you looked at that apprenticeship as though you were an employee, and that was highly valued. And obviously I got to learn from you as well in terms of the technology and some of the latest strategies that I didn't know anything about, and it worked as a great partnership. So thank you, Acadian, for hooking us up. And
Yes, we'll give their link below and give them a good shout out. So thank you so much.
We'll add it to the notes, because I haven't used mine in the last little while, and my computer's been on the fritz, so I have to dig it up. The cancer piece is so interesting. I mean, I've certainly watched your journey as we've kept in touch throughout the last while, year plus. And my journey was relatively easy by comparison, and yet there's some interesting elements. So I was up at night back in September last year, excuse me, with a wicked belly pain, and it was gradually creeping further up my chest. And then it started to go around the back, and I was like, what the heck is this? So 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I need to go to the emergency. Turned out with some scans that I had a gallbladder attack, and I had some stones in my gallbladder. And then 3 doctors came in, and they said, by the way, we've also, as part of this CT scan, seen that you have a mass on your right kidney. And it's a big mass. It's like almost 5 centimeters, and it looks nasty, and we don't like the look of it. So unfortunately, because of the location of it, and it's so close to the wall of the kidney, we need to take your kidney out. So we might as well just do a double surgery and get your gallbladder and your kidney out. And I was like, what?
That was shocking, right?
So I did not know that I had cancer, because I didn't have any specific symptoms that would lead me to even know that this was growing inside of me, other than I definitely felt low energy, and I had been feeling that way for a while. And part of it, I believe, was to do with some toxic relationship stuff that was going on within our marriage. So they booked me in for surgery 5 weeks later. It was very quick that they got me in, which again was a sign, I think, of how aggressive this was. Although I didn't know at the time. They thought, it might be benign, it's okay. So had the surgery, and while I was recovering, as an entrepreneur, I said, well, if you're saying it's going to take 2 to 6 weeks to recover, I'll take 2, thank you very much. So I booked off 2 weeks on my calendar, and by the end of the first week, I was actually able to get out of bed and go to the bathroom by myself. But it gave me the space that I hadn't given myself to really reflect on. I could have died. Like, I didn't know. So it wasn't as though I'd had this diagnosis and been sitting with it for a while. It was like, bang, I could have died, and I wouldn't have even known that I had it. And it really caused me to assess, what is my life looking like? And am I happy with all of my elements of my life? And realizing, no, it was actually time to make some decisions, because I had been tolerating a toxic relationship. And so I made the decision that I was going to, come the new year, part ways with my husband. And I was taking charge of that. And I was not going to be tolerating any of the stuff that had been happening. so my journey, not only did they cut out the kidney, so now I have one kidney to try to work on that functionality and get that working well this year. But it changed the whole direction of my life, because I moved in January. I separated from my husband. I did get the all clear. So yes, 6 months later, I got my CT scan saying nothing else is growing back. And I think what it was is ultimately I was getting so stressed about trying to fix stuff in the relationship, because I'm a coach, right? I can fix anything. That I made myself sick, and I depleted my energy, kind of like a battery in a flashlight. My battery was so low that it was almost out, and I didn't even realize it until now in the springtime. People are coming on Zoom that haven't seen me for a while, and they're like, "What are you doing differently? You're shining, like you're beaming, and you look so light." And it's like, yeah, well, I'm lighter because apparently I don't have cancer anymore, and also I have taken back my sovereignty. I've stepped into a new level of integrity. I wrote a best-selling book 5 years ago, which is Words, Women, and Wisdom. You can't see it behind me.
Read it, love it.
Words, Women, and Wisdom, The Modern Art of Confident Conversations. It's
fantastic.
40 different words and word concepts to help women to ask for what they want and get it. So here am I, the author of this book, and I still fell into a trap of being in a toxic relationship. And although I was asking for what I really wanted, it wasn't happening. So I needed to make a change. We can't change other people. We can only change how we respond to what others' behavior is. And my choice was to leave. So a lot's happened since we first met. Things are very different now.
Yeah, I can relate to your story so much. It sounds like almost the exact same story of the first time I had ovarian cancer. So, yeah, when something happens to you so traumatic, it just really opens up your whole thought process and analyzes every little part of your life, and you just start getting rid of things that aren't to your benefit. It doesn't point towards your purpose, things that don't lift you up and hold you in value and respect. You just get rid of those things. You shed the weight.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I did shed some weight. I lost 60 pounds since,
Literally, yes.
literally since well, probably since the summer, since some events were going on. So yeah, I am physically a lot lighter as well. So I think my face looks different, skinnier as well, but it's my energy that people comment on the most. So
You feel that energy a lot more now,
I
flourishing.
think it's what it is, Beth, is it's an energy of a different level of energetic resonance. No, I'm still doing my own inner work, so I wouldn't say it's totally coherent all the time. It has peaks and valleys still. However, I'm not living a lie, basically. I mean, we're, as entrepreneurs, we're posting a lot of things on social media, and all of the marketing gurus say have a mix of business plus a bit more about you and your life and what's going on in your life. And I haven't really posted a whole lot over the past 6 months, because I really needed to step back and analyze, what is it I even want to post? what do I want to share out of this messy situation here? But I think that when you claim back your sovereignty, and in your deepest part of your soul that you're making the right decision for you, it has a different grounding strength that comes through. I mean, I'm certified in Reiki as well as executive coaching, as you know. And so bringing in some of those tools to get really grounded every day has, I think, helped with attracting a whole different level of new clients. Yeah.
Yeah, because energy spreads, whether it's good energy or bad energy. You elude
Exactly.
whatever energy you hold within. That's what other people you come in contact with feel from you.
Right. So in the beginning, I know in January, and then February when I saw you in person, when we actually met after being online for months and months, met in person. My energy was still somewhat scattered because I was still dealing with the immediacy of moving house, not being settled. I had a conference in Vegas I booked months before, another one in February for my birthday that I booked months before, another event in April coming up in Toronto. I had all these things in my calendar that I was juggling and just did not feel settled and didn't feel grounded in my own skin yet. So that's a lot of that has gradually evolved and settled now. So yeah,
Yeah,
my energy is a lot different.
it takes time for the dust to settle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's like running around in a pond, right? A nature pond, and you're kicking all the mud up from the bottom with all your activity. But when you take the time or invest the time, create the time to stand stock still and do that reflection, then the water settles or the mud settles to the bottom and you have clarity. You can see.
yeah.
Yeah.
You have to take time out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, a couple of questions when it comes to your coaching. In your coaching experience, what are the most common hurdles women entrepreneurs encounter, and how do you guide them through those barriers?
So I think a lot of times women who are still looking after the family and mostly the ones who are doing, the majority of the parenting piece, they they think that in today's economy, if they get let go or laid off, that they'll start their own business and it's going to be giving them flexibility. It's going to be giving them ideal work hours, etc. And then it doesn't work the way they think it's going to work because they came from a corporate job. They might be a brilliant, accountant or researcher or something that is a technical skill within their business, but they've forgotten that all those other things that corporate services takes care of, like the IT challenges, somebody doing the marketing, somebody doing the website, somebody doing the PR, somebody doing all the communications, looking after health and safety, business continuity when there's a flood, all of those types of things that other people look after. Now you as the business owner have all of that responsibility. So the primary thing that they forget is they want to go out and start setting up a website right away. And I say stop, because until you've done the research to look and say, what is my specific skill, my unique value proposition? Why would anyone want to have a business relationship with me? What am I giving them that is of value? Is it a service, a product? How is that going to help them feel better, make more money? What's going to be the shift that they're going to get from purchasing? Then you're wasting time just putting things together and slapping it together on a website. And then you don't have a traffic generation strategy anyway, so no one's getting to look at it. It's like a sunny day with the blinds closed. So there is some work to do before you open the doors. It doesn't necessarily have to take months and months and get stuck in analysis paralysis, but there is an importance to doing the work and making the decision about what you need to hire out later on that isn't going to be your strong suit, so that you can really excel in the thing that you were doing that you're so well known for and that you can attract new business for. So sometimes it's not as easy as women think, and they haven't put enough money aside and they get 9 months in and then they're calling me. I need more sales.
Maybe
I don't like selling.
if someone's
Yeah.
listening to this, reach out to Yvonne before you build the website.
Yes.
But yeah, I am one of those women. I just, kind of threw everything out, and I didn't have any kind of organization. I didn't have any structure. And I know when you were giving me mentorship, that's something I struggled with a lot because I didn't really have like a focused, uh, what I wanted to do, what skill would I want to focus on, what is my business offering, how can people come to me for value. So those are the kind of questions that you instilled in me that I had to ask myself over the last few years, over and over, before I really kind of honed in on what I wanted my business to look like. And that could look different for everybody, but I can relate to the analysis paralysis because I have stalled months and months and months trying to figure out the right color of this theme or that theme. And it really doesn't matter. It's the value that you're giving to other people that makes your business. So you got to figure out what your value is.
Well, yeah, why would someone specifically want to have you helping them?
Yes.
And what is the product, the service, the value of that to them? How's it going to help them? How's it going to change their life and make things better, smoother, faster, more efficient, less painful? I mean, I always look at the positive side of things versus saying, well, tell me about your greatest challenge. I always like to say, what's working really well and how could it be better? Right? So we need to have that clarity, and it needs to be a passion. And usually women are really good at picking something that didn't work for them, and now they got so angry about it and fired up that they've created a service for it because it's impacted them, it's touched them, it's annoyed them, it's upset them, and now they've looked and they said there's nothing out there like this, and I'm going to do something about it. That's great, right? But that could be a not-for-profit as well, or it could be a flourishing business that actually helps you to replace the income that you had and more.
So that's the benefit of working with a coach, is to figure all that out along the way before you waste any time, right?
Exactly. So eight startups later, and not all of them have been successful. Some of the companies I worked with were, high-tech startups. One of them, we hired 1,000 people in a year. I mean, it was absolute crazy chaos. I wasn't the founder for that. I was on the leadership team for that. There was another group that sold for 12.5 million to a national company, telephone company. And then there's my own endeavors as well. And all the time you learn along the way, what is it that will get you the first, get off the starting blocks. When I took my executive coach certification, which is now 15 years ago, at that time, I'd already been in a number of startups. So when I got my first 30 clients within 30 days, all of my cohort who took the coaching program with me are like, what are you doing? How did you do that? Because that's almost unheard of. And yet I was like, well, it's not my first rodeo. I'm not going to recruit them one by one by one. I'm going to have a conversation with a local association about a specific coaching topic, and I'm going to bring them a program. They're going to love it, and they're going to advertise it to their members. I'm going to retain the intellectual property for it, and I'm going to teach it and facilitate it and coach it. And that's what happened. But
Now
it wasn't only me building it one by one by one.
that is a great little nugget for our listeners right now. That was a really good one, a good point to make.
When you know what it is that you're specifically offering that is of value, then it makes it so much easier to go find more of the people that you want to serve, and where do they hang out in large groups, and then how can you get access to that? What relationships do you need to build in order to be able to access those resources, those potential clients? Without that clarity, it's like throwing spaghetti at the wall, right?
Mhm. Right, yeah, we don't wanna waste time, we don't time is very precious. We both know that all too well. Now, in your opinion, Yvonne, how can women entrepreneurs build resilience in the face of failure or criticism and turn those challenges into growth opportunities?
Well, first off, I had an experience growing up with my dad, and I actually don't like the word failure. I don't believe that I don't believe it's valuable. I think that we all have lessons to learn. And when something doesn't work the way you think it's going to work, it's a learning opportunity. And that's it. And so they actually in Calgary, just recently, I saw it advertised on LinkedIn the other day, have a new program out there that's like a networking event for entrepreneurs. And it's called Effed Up. And it's entrepreneurs who are talking about when things did not go well
Oh, I
for
want to
them and
join
what they
that
learned,
community.
what they learned along the way, right?
Mm.
Because those experiences are just as valuable. So first off, I want to, reframe that whole word of failure in terms of how can women build resilience. I believe that women are naturally resilient anyway. But sometimes that reflection process of saying, well, why would someone work with me? Why would they pick me? What do I have to offer? What are my skills, interests, passions? I do something that's really unique, differently than anybody else. Part of that process and self-reflection will build your confidence anyway, because you're going to look back and you say, wow, look at all the things I've done already that I forgot about. And when we try something that we never in a million years think we could do, and then we accomplish it, that builds our resilience and our confidence as well. I remember taking a T. Harv Eker workshop and climbing a mountain, and we got to divide it up into 4 different levels, and I got to level 1 and my legs were pretty sore already. I mean, I'm not a hiker. Second level, my knees are pretty much numb. Third level, I just kept going. I'm like, well, my knees are already numb, I might as well just keep going. And the goal, which really appealed to me, was we had to have our entire team up to the top of the mountain, and one of them had crutches and he had a cast on with a broken ankle. So we had to, as a team, get him up to the top of the mountain. And laying on that flat plateau, looking down thousands of feet, what a tremendous view. But the biggest takeaway for me was, holy smokes, I never in a million years thought I could climb this mountain. But I just kept putting one foot in front of the other with the added momentum of helping someone else to be successful. And those kinds of experiences are what build up our resilience. It's like an elastic band, the further you pull it back, the further when you let it go, that something will catapult forward.
I love it. Just keep stepping. So
yeah, just keep going. Just keep stepping forward.
what is one piece of advice you wish you could give your younger self when you were just starting out?
Well, there's actually a couple of things that link together. One is other people's opinions are just that. They are their opinion, and it doesn't make it truth. So when you start aligning with what you and your highest purpose see and feel is a inner knowing, and it's truth to you, you can't go wrong. Because opinions are a dime a dozen. Everyone's got one, right? But when you actually start tapping in and doing your own inner work, the success factor in business isn't only about strategy, it's about you and how you show up, your energetic resonance. We talked a little bit about that before. And do people feel confident that you can deliver what you're saying you're going to deliver for them? Because if you don't show up with that energy and they can't feel it and taste it and touch it, then it's not necessarily going to be a great working relationship right away. So I use a whole bunch of tools in my business to help shortcut that process of having, better communications with people. But it all ultimately boils down to our own inner talk. And when we listen to others, it's very easy to get sidetracked versus listening to our own inner wisdom.
Yeah. Now you have a really cool AI tool to help develop conversations, right?
I do. I ran across a communication tool about 4 years ago now that I use, that is a proven personality science tool, and it's designed to increase sales by up to 300%. And it's scientifically proven to do that for a specific reason. And I'm happy to share more if any of the listeners want to find out more about that. Happy to do more with, sharing a free link where they can get a copy of their own report and experience it personally. But it is about creating a conversation, because a lot of women in particular, I work mostly with women, are not comfortable having a sales conversation. And this is designed to make it more of a connection conversation, giving people what they want in the communication style that they naturally have. And they've already told you, this is my style, and got their own information, their own customized reports. So they love it anyway, because they got something out of it. And then speaking to them directly in their personality code, because people are smart, they can make their own decisions. But if they haven't even heard the message, it's like me talking English and you're talking German, we're just missing each other. And that's why it's a great tool. And it does have an AI platform. And now it's got a ChatGPT AI layer on top. So when I know what someone's personality code is, I can actually write an email or a note directly in their preferred communication style, using AI, and saves a heck of a lot of time.
Wow. So anybody in sales, like I eventually want to get on board with that, but that's something that will just skyrocket your sales if you could talk in the language that everybody can resonate with, right? And you can kind of put things into perspective to share on their own level. That would make a huge difference in sales, correct?
Correct. So even with things like a website, we talked about this earlier, excuse me, when you know, here's who my ideal client is and what their personality style likely is, or if you've already got 3 or 4 clients already, you can assess pretty quickly who they are and what their preferred communication style is. Then you can set up your website with language that specifically is oriented to attract even more of your ideal client. Or you could go bigger and say, well, I just want to attract each of the 4 personalities, so I better pepper my language with something that has some analytics and data and science and percentages, something about steps and processes, something for the action person about the opportunity and how it's going to make them money. And then the last one is nurturing, which is about building relationships and personal growth and harmony. So when you have something that's in the language that's for each of those personality types, that's what we call bankifying it, because the tool itself is for personality styles: blueprint, action, knowledge, and nurturing, which spells out the word bank. So yeah, you can write your material any way you want it, so it's meaningful for the person who you want to be reading it and taking action.
That's pretty awesome. So Yvonne, how can people find you? And I will also share your links and all your information down in the description below. But what's the best way to reach you?
So you can either reach out to me through my website, which is yvonnesilver.com. And if you go there, right on the very homepage, there's actually a little bit of a video with myself and the founder and creator of this personality science system I'm talking about. And it actually does give the link. I forgot it was on there. It gives the link to pick up your own personality report. And it's my gift as part of this conversation. If you heard about it through here, through Beth, it'll be my gift. So you can complete that. You'll get your 20-page custom report back in nanoseconds. It literally takes 90 seconds to do, and you'll get your report back that you can explore with keen interest.
I
Or
did
they can
it.
reach
It's
out
pretty
to me.
fun.
It is fun. It's 20
Yeah,
pages, right?
I'm a
Or you can,
blueprint.
which works well with my nurturing personality, because you are very system oriented, and systems is my last code. So it was a great compliment. The other way is to connect on LinkedIn. So Yvonne E.L. Silver. I think it's just Yvonne Silver on my LinkedIn profile, and reach out there and we can have a conversation.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me today. And it's been a fantastic conversation.
I appreciate the invite. And if we can, as business owners, if we can share one or two tips that help another business owner stop going down a rabbit hole, I think that's incredible value, because it's it can save a lot of time, and that is our most precious resource.
Absolutely. Time is money.
Thanks, Beth.
Thank you. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This video is going to help a lot of people. So thanks for listening. And there you have it, folks. This is my journey from ovarian cancer survivor to CEO and founder of Resilient Stars Marketing, proving that even when life throws you curveballs, you could still hit the ground running. Special thanks today to Yvonne E.L. Silver. Thank you so much for joining us today and for reminding us that confidence is key, especially when you're pitching your story. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, hit that little notification button, because I will see you back here on another episode of Beth Talks, because you might need a little resilience in your life soon too. Till next time, peace and love.